Sorry, I'm just distracted.
You're twiddling.
Twiddling. Well, you know...
Mending the equipment, I think is the phrase.
Twiddling, what? Twiddling?
And that wasn't a euphemism, by the way.
Twiddling a knob. So, a few new things in today's show, or in the show generally, I'm going to sort of introduce. The first one is the intellectual put-down of the day.
Oh,
now,
very nice.
On the weekend, I was doing this yesterday, have to do what are called pack shots for college, for photography, which are, if you ever see a picture in the paper, say there's a story about wine, and there's a wine glass, just a generic picture of a wine glass with wine being poured into it at an angle with a particular type of lighting. Those really boring sort of library catalogue
advertising
shots.
stuff.
Yeah. And so we have to do an A to Z. We have to do half of the alphabet. So I'm doing A to M. And spent ages trying to think of the letter H, kitchen implement that starts with a H. And wrote this on...
I apologise for mine.
Wrote this on... What did you... Oh, yeah. Did you say as a housewife?
Housewife was the first one I put in.
Ooh.
Don't make it 70s and sexist. And I got many different replies. And
some of them broadcastable.
Some of them broadcastable, some not broadcastable. And somebody wrote humble pie. And then my friend Dee pointed out to James, who'd written humble pie, said actually it's not an object, it's actually a concept.
Yeah, definitely. That is an intellectual put down.
So that's the intellectual put down of the day. Can anybody think of sort of? I give a bit of time maybe to think about it between now and the end of the show, but something like that you've heard.
Well, the one I like is the classic which we've all heard, which of course was Winston Churchill when he was accused once of being drunk. Yeah. To which he then replied to this particular lady, "Yes, madam, I may be drunk, but you are ugly. The difference is tomorrow morning I shall be sober."
And you will still be ugly.
I don't think he ever actually said the second part because he was intellectual. He didn't feel it was necessary. If she didn't get it, then she didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've got another great one like from Churchill. A brilliant one was during the later years in his life, and he was sitting in the House of Commons, and there was a couple of the young backbenchers were sitting behind him. And one was like, turned to the other and sort of whispered and said, "That's Churchill in front of us." And the other one turned around and said, "Yeah, they say he's going mad, you know." At which point Churchill just turned round and rumbled at them, "They also say he's going deaf."
Yeah, he had a very particular smart, not use of words in the sense of, because when he first did his speeches that we hear now, his famous wartime speeches, were all re-recorded after the war or days afterwards, because they either weren't recorded or they were said by an actor originally or something odd like that.
Really?
Yeah. The ones we hear aren't the ones that went out live. So whenever they're used in a film, they're not the exact thing that was heard. It's
Who was the one who said that rumours of my demise have been exaggerated?
Oh, I don't.
Oh, there's
know.
a good few of those.
I think that happens in an episode of Frasier in one of the early series when I think his dad Martin is, he's a very regimented guy because he used to be in the police force, and he gets up early every morning. He sits and he has his breakfast and reads the paper from cover to cover, and he's reading the paper and he reads a headline which just says, "Oh, Martin Crane dead." He reads his own death in the paper. And
isn't that a great programme, Frasier?
Oh, I was thinking
fabulous.
I was thinking earlier on. There's a particular episode of that. There's the first episode of the last episode of the first series of Frasier, and it's sort of a review of what he's done in the previous year. And the whole episode is just set in the coffee house. He doesn't move from the coffee house for the whole episode, and everybody comes in to meet somebody or to collect some coffee beans and to have coffee with him. And he sort of assesses his previous sort of year, and it's done it's really funny, of course, but it's done in a very sort of touching way, where at the end, because at the start of the episode he ordered a particular type of coffee and they keep getting the order wrong because he keeps changing it, and at the end he finally gets brought the cup of coffee he wanted, and she says, it's non-fat decaf with such and such foam with cinnamon but without any chocolate sprinkles. Are you happy? Which is what his brother asked him earlier in the episode. Said, "Are you happy with life?" And he says, "Oh, in the grand scheme of things, I think I am." And it's just a nice little
Very
moment,
nice.
Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A reason enough to get to Dave.
Yeah. So that's the intellectual put down of the day. What's the best smart, not insult, sort of putting somebody in someone's place you've heard this week? Let us know. Text us, tweet us, email us, follow us on Twitter. Our username on Twitter is What is it again, chaps? Well, Home Run Swindon it is. So look for us at Home Run Swindon and follow us. We've got 87 followers. Let's see if we can crack 100 by the end of next week. Because
There you go.
Trevor and Nick, who do the drive show, they'll be here at 5 o'clock. Trevor was saying to me last week, how the heck is it you've got 87 followers? They're probably all just...
He's got a big family. And talk about put-downs. How about the put-down of things like John Radcliffe? Not an easy name to forget, but definitely worth the effort.
That's the best one I've heard today, actually. Yeah, that's a good one. So if you've got one, do let us know. Give us a text, give us a tweet, let us know, and we'll read them out. Here is Van Morrison with Bright Side of the Road.